Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nurse Akosia, and today I want us to talk about um, how orientation process is in the United States compared to that of where I come from, Ghana. So let's get started. So when I started working in the United States, the orientation process, when you compare it to that of Ghana, it is this much, like wide, very wide. Yeah, the difference is a lot. Let's start from Ghana. When I used to practice back in Ghana, when I came out of school, I did my rotation, and I did it at a big hospital, and then we had our orientation. The orientation that I went through was just to show me the units, that's the departments in the hospital, and also, yeah, to show me where to go for what, and then all that. But when it comes to knowing exactly what to do, there are, like, when you go to the unit, the ward, and you are starting to work, you are just thrown in there, and then you're told you just go meet um, the charge, yeah, the charge, and they assign you to they ask you to start working. And what happens is, I used to work in the maternity unit, so any midwife that is actually working with you is the one who is going to train you. Like, I don't know if it's really training, but they ask you, yeah, it is training, but if they ask you what you know and then what you don't know, and then you take up from there. So that is how it was with Ghana. That was actually my rotation. Fast forward, I completed my rotation, and then I started working as like a staff nurse. And um, what happens is, regardless of the hospital that you went to, even if you change the hospitals, they assume that you know. So when you get there, they just throw you in there and you start. That's it. And you figure it out yourself. If you don't know, ask. Like, that's it. Now in the United States, I've worked for, like, I have like over 8 years experience. And I know it was quite scary when I was starting here in the United States, because it is very different when you compare it to where I come from, Ghana. And what happens is, when I started working, I went through the orientation. Yes. Uh, what we do in Ghana, as in letting you know, like, where to go for what. The United States, they give you a scavenger. I don't know if it's the United States, but my hospital, they gave you a scavenger hunt. Find it yourself. The most important thing that we're doing on the orientation was training you on the hospital policies. Um, a whole lot. HR comes, every department comes and orient you and on everything in every department. And then when you're done, that actually goes on for like a week or two or something. And then you are assigned to a preceptor. So you're not going to work with anybody apart from your preceptor. And they are going to score you. They go with a checklist. And you're going to make sure that you do everything on the checklist. Yeah, that's the orientation here. And they do not have a limit. But usually, my hospital, I was told that usually people take 8 weeks to complete. But if you're not getting where they expect you to be, you're going to continue with the orientation. Orientation is actually paid. So that is how it works. You're going to go through every checklist to make sure that they want to know that you know what you're doing before you are even allowed to work on your own. And based on your preceptor scores or communication with your educator, that will determine if you are ready to go and start working on your own. Because here, unlike where I come from, like in Ghana, the nurses are there. We have like 3 nurses, and then let's say we have 30 patients. Um, you're like you're not assigned in Ghana. You're not assigned to specific patients. The 30 patients are for the three of you. So if something happens to a patient, it's the three of you. But here, your patient is just you. So if you have your maximum of 6 patients, all 6 patients is just you during that shift. So if something happens, it's you, just you. That is how it works here. So I understand how they're really strict on making sure that you know what you're about before you start working on your own. So the orientation, that is exactly how it is. And also when you start, before you go and start working on the unit, and you are supposed to go through some assessments. I'm not gonna lie to you, but orientation here, it's like going to school. I'm telling you the truth. You're gonna write a lot of assessments, and they have a pass rate. If you fail, you will keep taking it. And if you keep taking it and you keep failing, they're gonna train you, and then they take you back to take the assessment. The goal is for you to pass the assessment. And what I noticed is the assessment, if you don't pass the first one, there was one I didn't pass, the EKG. Definitely, I was like, no, I will not pass, because where I come from, we don't read EKGs. So when I took it, I failed. I know, yeah, I failed, and I was proud because I knew that I didn't know. So yeah, I was ready to be trained. And the pass mark for the first one that I took was different from the second one. Even though I don't know if they're the exact questions, I totally forgot the questions they gave me the first time. But the first time, let's say if the pass score is like 85, and trust me, the pass score, it's the lowest is 75. Yeah. So if, let's say, the pass score is like 85 for the first one, the second one is gonna be 95. So yeah, and you're gonna write it and write it until you pass. I asked these questions because I know this because I asked my educator. I was like, what if I don't pass? What happens? She's like, you keep taking it. And if we get to know that you are still not passing, we will figure a way to solve that problem. We will train you again, and you are going to take the assessment. They call it prophecy. So yes, you will take those assessments. It's like school. And then you go and do the practical school. You get scored by your preceptor before you start getting your patients on your own. So yeah, that is how orientation is. I may have left some things out, but that is what I remember right now. All right, so that is what I have for you today. If you have any questions, you can put your questions down below in the comment section, or you can go onto my website down below. I have the link down below. You can click on my website, send me a direct email, and I will be glad to assist you. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. And thank you, and have a great day.